Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to this week's edition of the Principal's Office. I am so glad that you are here. For those of you who don't know me or checking me out for the first time, I'm Jamal Maxim, Igniter of Champion Leaders. I'm the co-owner and CEO of Lead Like a Champion, and we ignite leaders to fulfill their leadership assignment, and we teach you how to do it from a kingdom perspective. And so I am here tonight to talk about momentum in your leadership. Whether you are leading in a school setting, and I have found myself in this space where I'm talking to a lot of coaches and consultants, whether you're leading in coaching, I want you to really understand the dynamics of momentum in your leadership. I was thinking about something earlier today, and I was just in this thought came to me. One, we all know in leadership, coaching is a part, an aspect, and even a strategy of leadership. Some people would say it's a style, but I call it a strategy. But a lot of people who engage in coaching don't realize that they are engaging in a leadership activity. And so, for those of you who are coaches or consultants, you are engaging in leadership activity, so you are in the right place. So, remember to like, comment, share, save this video, whatever platform you're watching. If you're watching on the replay, welcome. Those of you who are listening to the live audio on Clubhouse, welcome. And remember to comment in the section and let me know that you're here. And so we're going to talk about momentum in leadership. And I'm just going to look down for those of you who see me on the camera, because I'm going to invite a few people in the room, because I was starting to do that earlier, and then it gave me an error message saying I was using the function too much. So apparently I was inviting too many people, and it just wanted to like give me the red bar and say no, no, no. So I just had to wait a second so I can invite some more people. And so as I'm doing that, so excuse me if I'm not making eye contact with all of you in the camera. And so but I want to keep it moving. So as we're talking, there's a thing we have to understand in terms of momentum. When you are dealing with leadership and dealing with momentum, it is the thing that causes you to really ride success and ride the wave of what you're doing. Momentum is when everybody is focused on the same thing, and there's celebration, there's focus, there's progress. And so you need momentum. Momentum is one of the things John Maxwell talks about a lot in leadership, how you have to build it and cultivate it. A lot of times when you're talking about momentum, a lot of people allow it to fizzle out because they have an exciting moment, they have a win, but they don't know how to capitalize on it. And so because of that, it just kind of fizzles, and now they have to start over. But one of the things I recognize in momentum and in leadership, period, is this. When you recognize your leadership assignment, you're going to either be doing one or two things. First, you have to recognize there is a leadership assignment, because many people get into leadership and they think they're just there to help with the decision making or to keep things moving, or because they want to have a greater impact. Having a greater impact means that there's a specific thing that you need to do as a leader in order to make that impact be known. Because being a position of influence is for having impact. And so when we're talking about impact and momentum and assignment, there are two things that you're either going to be doing. And so I encourage you to write this down so you can remember it. Number one is you're going to be bringing change. When you step into a situation, there may be things that are out of alignment or things that are not producing, and you're going to have to bring change. In order to bring change, you're either going to have to stop something or start something. Or your second thing is you're going to have to accelerate. So you might step into a position where things are flowing, where things are going good, there's progress being made, but now you have to accelerate and build. Because if you don't accelerate or build upon what's happening, it would die out and become a fad, and then you will have to start that work over. Too often, change doesn't stick because people either fail to consistently maintain it, or what I would like to say, steward that change. And so now it dies out and they have to start over. And then it becomes a fad or just another initiative, and people really don't buy into it when you're trying to constantly change things. So you're either going to be accelerating something or changing something. And so that's just the fact of the assignment when you are in leadership, is one of those two things. And so today we're talking about how do you know whether you're going to accelerate or change. Now let's dig into it. Instituting change often will require introducing something new or improving on something that's already there, like I just said. So when we're talking about changing something, it is because there is something that is not producing, it is something that is not happening that should be happening, and you see that it needs to be instituted. A lot of times when you step into those scenarios, people know something different has to happen, but don't quite understand or haven't quite put their finger on what exactly needs to happen. So when you step into that situation and you are able to see, oh, this is the problem, this is the missing link, here is the thing that needs to be either done away with or the system or process needs to be fixed, then you can institute change. And so, but here's the thing, when we're talking about change is going to also require you dealing with the people and working on the mindset of those people to help them embrace it and prepare for it before you actually do it. Because a lot of times people jump into situations and places that need change and they just try to slap it on right away. Be like, something is wrong with this, so let me just fix it. Let me just do this change because this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Everybody's wrong. You know, it reminds me of a kindergarten student that I had when I was principal of this one particular K-6 school, and the student in kindergarten had disrupted class, and so I had to give her a break. You know, I went and removed her from the class and just gave her time to cool off and get out whatever frustration she had, so she could go back into the class and be calm, and she could decompress without disturbing everyone else. And of course, as a school leader, and for my principal friends, if you do that, be mindful that the kid doesn't try to play you and try to do that just to avoid doing work or just to spend time with you, because they're building relationship. And so you have to be conscious and discerning in that fact. All right. So anyway, so I removed this student, and I was asking her about her behavior and why she disrupted the class. And one of the things she said to me, she was like, they're liars. She was like, the teacher's lying, the kids lying, they're all liars. And so it was so hilarious when she said it, you know, it's being 5 years old. She was like, they're all liars. And so sometimes, you know, people come in with that wrecking ball leadership and it was like, it's all wrong. Everything is wrong. And they try to change everything all at once, and they do more harm than good. So the thing is, first, when you recognize it, you have to deal with the mindset of the people. You have to see if they are ready for change. And if they're not ready, then you got to help them get ready. And in that process of getting ready, you got to help them embrace change as something that not only needs to happen, but something that has to happen and something that is going to happen. And the reason why I say need, has to, and going to is this: because if you don't change, you will become irrelevant. And so it's not the fact that if we have to change, it's the fact that we must change to in order to meet the needs of the people we are serving. Because if we don't, we will become irrelevant and unsuccessful and unfruitful. And so you have to deal with that mindset, because if a person is not ready for change, if they want to hold on to what seems comfortable because they're used to it, then they will automatically resist change and then resist you as the leader, because you are the messenger of change. And so don't let them yell, "This is Sparta," on you and try to kick you in the hole because you're bringing the message that they don't want to hear. So you got to prep them and get them ready. And that's part of the dynamic of change, which is a different strategy than acceleration. Because when you're dealing with accelerating progress, you are celebrating them and celebrating the wins that they already have had and how things are going, while simultaneously casting vision for the future destination. I'll say that again. When you are accelerating, your strategy should be to celebrate the people, celebrate the wins of the past, celebrate the progress of the present, and cast vision for the future destination. Now, the challenge with that is this. Sometimes when people get in that mode of winning, of course, there is the momentum and the feeling and the dopamine that's released in their brains from winning. And so they like it. They want more of it. They want to keep winning. But then the challenge with that is this. Sometimes when people are winning, they think that they have arrived and don't have to do anything different than what they're currently doing. And so I had this challenge when I stepped into a school as an assistant principal after being a principal for a while. And I entered this new school district and I became the assistant, and they were the top school in the district already. The principal who was there, by the grace of God, was doing everything in that building that I was doing in a totally different building. And we didn't know each other at that time. And so I stepped into this thing thinking, woo, there's nothing for me to do. But then I quickly realized there was a lot for me to do because progress needed to continue to be had, and I needed to do my part in the acceleration. And so I had to quickly find out where a push or a shove needed to occur in order to keep things moving. Because there was this sense of complacency with those teachers because they felt they had arrived and they were better and they were doing better than every other school in the district, which was true, except for the arrival part. They were doing better. But so at this point, we had to set the bar higher. So instead of comparing ourselves to the other schools in the district, we then began to compare ourselves with what the state of Ohio required. And it was like, okay, we need to be here. Here's our benchmark. And so the challenge is you have to keep people that are winning in this place of consistent growth, or what is often spoke of in education as the growth mindset, so they can continue to face those challenges and keep moving. Now, the rally for this during acceleration is this. You want to encourage consistency, encourage faithfulness while looking for ways to increase the results. I'll say that again. The rally cry of acceleration is to encourage consistency and faithfulness while looking for ways to increase the results you are giving. Because you want to encourage them to keep doing what they're doing. You want to encourage them to do it with fidelity, as they say in education, or be faithful with the implementation. But while look for ways, how can we step our game up? How can we go to the next level? Because we're supposed to go from glory to glory, faith to faith as kingdom leaders. And so how can we help the people go to the next level in what they are doing so we can continue to increase our impact? And so that's the rally cry of acceleration. Now, acceleration builds upon the momentum that from those wins and those victories and those changes that have taken place. And so you're not necessarily making change or adapting anything when you're thinking about acceleration. You're building, you're stewarding, and you're making sure that things are going like they should. And if you need to make tweaks here and there, you're doing that. And so that is the difference between change and acceleration when we're talking about leadership momentum. And it's important to know which. Because if you are implementing a change strategy, if you need to make change and you're implementing a strategy for acceleration, you're going to create problems for yourself. And because you're going to be encouraging people to keep doing what they're doing, and what they're doing is not what should be done. And so it's going to send that mixed signal. They're going to be like, oh, you're telling me I'm great, and you're telling me the best professional development is down the hall, but now you're saying we're not doing what we need, we're not performing like we should. And so it creates confusion where people would doubt your leadership, but it also will cause people to challenge your leadership and challenge the change and the initiatives more than they should. If you need to accelerate, but you're bringing a change type of strategy, they're going to wonder what you're talking about because they're already producing, and it's going to seem like you're out of touch, and they won't really listen to you or follow your leadership. So here are a few points I want to make for all of you who are watching and listening live, and then those of you who are in the Igniting Champion Leaders Club right now in Clubhouse. So if you're not there, you need to join it right now. There will be opportunity to come to the stage, and I want to hear your questions. I want to answer your questions, but also I want to hear your thoughts and shares and really have a discussion about what I just said. So if you're watching on any of the other platforms, on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, or watching this replay on Twitter, or even watching live on jamalmaxim.org, get into the Igniting Champion Leaders Club community, because you want to be a part of it and be a part of the igniting and development that I do in that space. Now, also, just as a quick service announcement, this video podcast is sponsored by Lead Like a Champion LLC, where we ignite champion leaders. And just want to let you know that the Leadership Accelerator is open for enrollment. So if you're ready to accelerate your ability to lead as you are leading change, or accelerating the progress of the places you are leading, you want to go to jamalmaxim.org/LA and get enrolled in the Leadership Accelerator. Or if you have questions, go to jamalmaxim.org and just get on my calendar, and I will answer any questions about the program that you have. All right, so let me give you, and for those of you on Clubhouse, feel free to click the greenhouse at the top and join the club. And hand raising is on, and I'm going to bring you to the stage in a minute. All right, so here are a couple of things I want you to think about as we talk about leadership acceleration or change. Change or accelerate. Here's a couple of things I want you to think about. 2 things to remember. Number 1, you got to identify if your leadership assignment is to lead change or accelerate the progress. You have to do that. You have to do that, and you have to be observant, because the strategy will be different no matter depending on which one it is. Now, if you're even unsure that leadership involves an assignment for you, that's a whole different ballgame, and definitely get into the Leadership Accelerator, because I can help you with that. And then the second thing is this. You want to create a specific strategy for whichever one you're doing. Now, my advice is to create a strategy for both. Here's the thing, because once you create your strategy for leading change, after that change is initiated, you're going to have to accelerate what you're doing as you are getting results. And if your assignment is to accelerate the current progress of where you are, and you have that strategy, you definitely want a change strategy, because there will come a time where you're going to have to strategically shift the place you are leading in order to stay relevant. And so you definitely want to have an outline or a framework for both, and so that you implement the one that you need in that particular season, but the other one is prepared for you and just ready for you to go. Except for you're going to have to make tweaks to match the current moment that you are in. Because if you create a strategy and wait 2 years to implement it, trust me, it might not be viable for the moment you're in. So you definitely want to make those tweaks. All right, so that's it for the video podcast of the leaders of this is the Leadership Accelerator, but this room is called the Principal's Office. And so I want you to make sure that you are applying what you have heard. So make sure you let me know in the comments, or send me a DM or a back channel, whatever it is, to let me know how you're going to apply what you have heard. And remember, the Leadership Accelerator is open for enrollment. So feel free to enroll in the Leadership Accelerator today and enhance your ability to lead, so you can fulfill your leadership assignment and lead in education and coaching from a kingdom perspective. All right, so that's it for the video portion for this week. I will see you next week, or actually I will see you tomorrow in my other video podcast, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, same platforms. And I want you to be successful and remember to lead like a champion. Bye-bye.